Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here today with Catherine Powell, who's the CEO of AmaWaterways. And as many of you know, Catherine joined AmaWaterways not too long ago, and she is now, it was actually originally president, and now she's CEO. And we're going to talk to her about, first of all, her first impressions of AmaWaterways and also what she has planned for this amazing company that we all know very well in the business. And it's highly awarded, highly respected by all of the travel advisors out there. And so you're going to hear from her and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Catherine, first of all, it's wonderful to meet you in person. We've corresponded briefly. I know of you and we've written about you, but this is the first time we've actually met virtually.
Virtually, not quite in person. I hope in person soon, but no,
Yeah,
very,
that will be the case at Virtuoso, no doubt. But
very nice to meet you.
I will very nice to meet you too. But you, how long have you now been at Amma Waterways? First as president and CEO,
So I joined AMA as president in February
right?
and was promoted to CEO July 1.
Okay.
We really took the decision to transition to the board. He was already on the board, but to be chairman of the board.
Right. So that's it. And so how did you all come about you being, joining Amma Waterways? What was the traction you saw and what was the opportunity you saw?
So I know that Rudy and Christine had been thinking sometime, or Rudy certainly had spent some time thinking about transition
Right.
generally. And I think he saw that he wanted to kind of slow down and move to other things. I mean, he's had such an incredible, iconic career. So that was already in the works. And I think they were meeting people. I was approached at some point about Amma, and the more I looked into it, the more I was attracted by, I mean, the brand, obviously, as you said in your introduction, is very beloved by travel agents, beloved by our partners, beloved by guests. The product is truly incredible. And this is someone who has, worked at Disney and seen, excellence and in guest experience and real quality of that guest experience. Amma is truly amazing. And then, of course, you meet Rudy and Christine and you're hooked.
No, yeah. Well,
They are,
Christine is a house of fire. She's been and she is remains, I think, still the global ambassador, right?
yes,
Uh,
yes, very
and,
much
and
so.
she is one of the favored people, certainly in the trades out there. And Rudy's actually a pretty good guy too, as I've gotten to know him over the years. You put a few beers in him, and we have a good time. Put it that way.
He's,
And he's of course,
they're both incredible.
yeah. So that's why. So you saw the whole team, and you saw when was the first time you actually saw the product?
I very, very soon after starting, I went to Europe and I did Tulip Time, which was just magical, absolutely magical. And it was the first time on a ship. It was the first on Amma, I should say. I've
Yeah.
had river cruises before some time ago, but not with Amma. So it was in Europe. It was absolutely beautiful in terms of the destinations, the locations we visited. Obviously, there were tulips, but there are a couple of things that struck me about that. One, I mean, I joined when I joined Airbnb. So after I had 15 years at Disney and then 4.5 years at Airbnb, I joined Airbnb to run experiences. I
Right.
later moved to run homes as well, but I joined to run experiences. And experiences at Airbnb are all about the authenticity and the connection to the place you are visiting. They want to make you feel like you belong there. And they're incredible. They're very, very, very immersive and special. And as I was looking at the experience, I was thinking, right, we've got to go for more authentic, and we've absolutely got to get rid of those lollipops and anything that's, mass we can't do. We've got to go small. And then, of course, I'm halfway through the cruise and I'm at Kirkenhof Gardens with the tulips looking for the lollipops so I can find
This
my
is
group.
true.
And so I revisited my prejudices around lollipops, thinking there is absolutely a place for the lollipop and a place for going to see iconic landmarks. But I also think there's opportunities to do things that feel more authentic. But it was that connection, having this incredible experience on the ship, the staff, the comfort of where you're staying. I mean, the crew are unbelievable. From the cruise manager to the hotel manager, the captain and everyone else. It's very, very special. And you see that connection with the guests. So that was incredible. But just be traveling and being able to, go to bed in one place, wake up in another, go and visit it and visit that city and be really immersed in that city. It's so appealing. It's so appealing. And I can completely understand why, river cruising is so hot at the moment. I mean, people are learning about it and people want to go on them. And everyone who goes on them, I mean, spending time with guests on the cruises that I've done, many of them are ocean guests, and
Yeah.
Amma is their first time river cruise, and they're like, why am I only discovering this now?
Well, that's the thing. River cruising has really exploded in the market. I was there at the beginning in the 90s when it really became a thing that Americans liked. It used to be just, for older Europeans and Germans. But now it really is a major thing, and especially one that travel advisors can sell and really do it well. And AMA has really risen to be one of the top companies that travel advisors recommend throughout because of the quality of the product. Sometimes they don't like to say they're luxury, but they really are. And it really
Yeah.
is kind of an amazing. Plus, the food has gotten so much better.
No,
Back
the
in the
food
day.
is great. Everything. I mean, you're right about luxury. Luxury is a very overused word. I mean,
Yeah,
in travel and hospitality generally. But I think if you focus on quality and excellence and that customer service that we offer that is really, really standout. I mean, yes, it makes us one of the best.
it is definitely, and I think a lot of the travel advisors recognize that their clients are going to have a great experience whenever they get on Amma Waters. There's some wonderful river cruise products out there. I always tell people there isn't a bad river cruise product. It's just the type of experience, what you're looking for. Almost everybody delivers above and beyond, but Amma is certainly been recognized for that. Now, we've talked about your background. So Airbnb and Disney, which are pretty good on the resume. I think that's. And we also talked about how you experienced. Now, you mentioned that you had done a river cruise way back when. Do you remember what that was like?
It was I was young, and I think it was European. I think probably you mentioned German. It's probably German, and I mean it's nothing like the comfort
No,
of of our river cruise. As you say, there are many amazing river cruise product out there. I think that we are one of the best, if not the best. But the experience now is nothing like it was
no.
25 years ago,
No,
30
it
years.
really has improved food, accommodations, even and you have a ship that Rudy built, the Ama Magna,
Magna.
that is kind of like a boutique hotel on the rivers, and it really is a completely different kind of thing. And I have to laugh because Rudy once told me that that ship was way too big. Because there was another ship that was the size. He said, "Oh no, it's too big." And then, of course, he one goes and builds it. And now
Yeah.
I guess you still have plans to do another one, so that's going
Yep.
to be interesting. But anyway, so obviously, so you've taken on the role as CEO, and what is your job now? What do you do as CEO, and what are Christine and Rudy going to be doing? You said Rudy's going to be chairman, but he's going to sort of step back, I guess. Although I can't imagine him stepping back completely because
Well,
he's
I mean, amazingly, I agree. I couldn't imagine it either. But I mean, amazingly, he seems to really be enjoying the slower pace. But he's still connected. He's still a guiding light for me.
yeah,
We are in touch. In fact, we've got a session together coming up. And so as we look at certainly in the area of, if you think of my responsibilities, as we look at growth, future growth, and we look at new ship builds and new destinations, I will work closely with Rudy on identifying those, especially as we explore more of the exotic locations like
right,
Colombia. We want to do more like that. So my priority is I probably have three priorities as I think about what I want to do and where I want to focus. One is definitely around growth, and growth is growth in fleet size, so the number of ships,
right.
growth in destinations, growth is also different itineraries and excursions and experiences that we want to do. I'm very focused on data on our platform, our digital platform. I hear a lot from advisors who want to know if there are improvements for our portal, and there will be. So we're working on that. We're working on better using data. We're working on integrating AI, as everybody is. But it's really about giving, our team tools to better understand what the guests want, what our guests want and need, and then making sure that we can share that with our advisor partners as well. And then the other area is also looking at international growth. I think we
Right.
are very strong in North America. River cruise, as you say, it's exploding. It's exploded basically for Europe and North America, but there's the rest of the world
Yes.
who who should discover it, and when they do discover it, will love it. And I want to make sure that we're there, we're ready to welcome them. But the umbrella over everything that I'm doing is also ensuring that I continue to nurture this incredible legacy and this brand that Rudy and Christine and Jimmy Murphy and now Gary have so thoughtfully created and curated. And I feel like I'm a caretaker of that brand, and I need to balance the respect for the legacy with the thoughtful evolution and innovation in the future.
And indeed, they do need that. And I think, they've done a marvelous job as a startup, as building the fleet, obviously getting very popular with the travel advisors. And I'm so old, I was the last person to interview Jimmy Murphy.
Oh,
Yeah, so
how
I knew
great.
him very well, and Gary set it up, and it was, when he was sadly he was very ill, but he perked right up, and we had a marvelous interview, and mostly gossiped about the industry. And I came at the end of the interview. I said I didn't really get much interview about Jimmy and his life, but we sure talked shop a lot. And it was wonderful to do that before the end. But Jimmy was a special man, as you probably have heard, who really was, and Gary carries on that legacy. But he was crucial in joining with Christine and Rudy to create this company.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I wish I could have met him.
yeah, he was a wonderful man. Was famous for developing owning Brendan tours at the time, and then got into river cruising, and that was what he was still doing when he passed away. But so that was wonderful to know him. Now, obviously, so Christine is going to continue on as brand ambassador, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. She is our chief brand ambassador. And so that last point that I made about how important it is to continue to protect the brand, Christine will have a key role there, as she always has, by the way. I mean, she will continue being the advocate for the brand. She will continue those special relationships that she has with all of our partners who know and love her, as you said. And as we evolve the brand, Christine will be there with the brand narrative. So we will work very closely together.
Yeah, I saw you were doing some seminars together, and that's good to be identified and get at least the travel advisors to know you as well as her, because I think that's important that they know that you're going to carry on,
Yeah.
even though she's not gone yet. She's,
He's not going anywhere. Yeah.
anywhere. So all right, you've already been here a few months now, and what is your favorite part of this new role with the company?
Oh, I mean, there honestly, I just feel so very, very, lucky to have this role at the moment because, as I said, the product is just fantastic. So the two things that I absolutely love which is kind of everything, is the product and the people.
Right.
The product. So I talked to you about Tulip Time. I've also done Magnificent Europe on the Danube, which I absolutely love, and I've just come back from Africa, so I've had a real
Oh,
variety.
you did that one.
I did.
I did that cruise before Rudy and Christine did it because I'd been told about it, and I was actually in Africa for a virtuoso symposium, and I still had not selected what I wanted to do in Africa. And Christine says, "Why don't you do a river cruise?" And I said, "I didn't even know you had one." And so next thing you know, I find myself going up to.
And isn't it magical?
It is amazing. It's more of a floating lodge than anything else, but boy, it was an amazing experience. I did it with actually Gary Murphy's wife, Daphne,
Daphne.
and one of your CFOs, I think, was back then, and we all had a wonderful time, and it was just magical, because I don't think anybody had. Again, Rudy and Christine only did that a few months later, so I got a chance to do it before that.
No, it's
It's a very
very
different kind of
special.
cruise.
Yeah, very. And also, it's a different type of cruise. It's a very different type of safari. I've
Right.
done safaris before, and a river cruise safari is so different. I mean, waking up with the dawn and seeing the animals come to drink, it's very, very special. And meeting our crew. And
Oh,
I'm going in a few weeks, I'm going to the Mekong.
That's still one I want to do. I really have not. That was one I want, along with obviously the newest one, which is Colombia. And I still hope to do that again and I had saved Mekong. I said I'm waiting till I can do it with AmaWaterways, and the same with Colombia. Obviously, no one else does it, so it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
You are, this company is just exploring new rivers all the time and in new ways.
No, I mean it's where we are. Where we are is already is amazing, and so I've got Mekong coming up, and then Nile at the end of the year, and then where we want to go, all the new destinations that we're exploring. But just to go back to your point, the two things I love, the product, which I've just talked about,
Right?
which is just really outstanding. And then the people, and the people are the people in the office here. Our cruise managers and all our crew on the ships, on shore, around the world. I mean, it's just we have incredible talent. So I want to be very focused on making sure that we continue to attract and retain and acknowledge great talent as well, because that experience, that connection, especially on board, that our crew make with our guests is one of the things that sets us apart, with no question.
No, absolutely. And of course, the other thing that sets you apart is, in the past few years, AMA Waterways, as I've mentioned before, has become one of the most honored and well-respected companies in the industry for its travel agency programs. I mean, I can't tell you how many times AMA Waterways, and the winner is, and it's always up there, and it's always an AMA, whether it's Christine or Alex Pinello or Gary Murphy or somebody taking home the awards. Uh, Now, I assume you're focused on continuing this policy to keep your strong relations with the travel agency trade. And I think that's something that travel advisors want to hear, that, you're going to be committed to this.
I mean, no question that it will be, a priority and a commitment. And I hear that a lot. Obviously, it's a big change for me to Rudy. Sorry, from Rudy to me.
Yeah.
And that comes with a lot of kind of questions. Um, and I cannot stress enough. And that's another thing. I mean, there's another thing that I've been, surprised in a very good way. I talked to you about the product and our people, but our relationship with our advisors and how important that is to our business. I totally understand that. I've said this before, they are the backbone to our business. They have a relationship with, their clients, our guests, but also with our sales team. The sales team
Right.
isn't changing. As I said, Christine's role is there. Our commitment to continuing to create the best possible experience for our agents, as well as creating the best possible experience for our guests, is a number one priority for me. And as we grow, I want them to grow. So that there's no question. I see the importance of that relationship. And the relationship, it's, yes, there's different ways in which the partnership manifests. There's there's the offers that we do, there's the programs that we have, as you said, there's our academy, our webinar Wednesday.
Sure.
There's also there's what I see is this kind of this loyalty and trust between AMA and our partners,
Yeah.
and I do not in any way want to disrupt that.
No, you got something good there, and it's really the way they've now other river cruise companies have recognized that, and it river cruising, it tends up to be, I don't know, some crazy percentage of the travel advisors are 80-90%, they sell river cruises, and it's just really the main way. You can certainly buy something to direct, but this is a way that they've discovered that they can either, whether they're converting river cruisers, converting ocean cruisers into
Ocean to
river
river.
cruises, or whether it's they're converting tour goers into river cruises. It's a great way to see the world, and it also can be a way that even maybe a slightly younger set of clients can see the world too, which is I've been trying to get more active, which you are. Emma Waterways is definitely active. Your
Yeah.
health and wellness things. I mean,
I mean, one of my highlights in my Mag Europe was doing a 20-kilometer bike ride along the
there you
Baja
go. There
Valley,
you
which
go.
is no. And I mean, your point about, the younger guests and consumers generally discovering river cruising, when we think about what I was saying of the priority around technology and data, we want to know where those consumers are and work with our partners to find them and give them the tools to reach them and share that data about their behaviors, their expectations, their needs. And we want to do that in partnership with our partners, because this is a growing industry. There will be more and more consumers coming to it. And
Right.
we want to be the best choice, and we want to help our partners continue to choose us as the best choice.
Absolutely. Now, of course, another thing I know you already said you're going to continue is focusing on developing new river cruises and new river cruise products, obviously like Colombia, which, I know Rudy's there have been delays and finally you're in the water and you got a second ship coming out this fall. So that's going to be very exciting, but I assume that's going to be one of your focuses as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. On the whole fleet side, there's focus on new ships. There's focus on ensuring that, we have, as we build, I mean, it's very competitive. Every time you have news, you see more ships coming in, more plans for large companies to be launching expanding their fleets. So, we need to be deciding where we want to build, make sure we have access to the shipyards, access to the docks, that we have the right compelling and differentiated itineraries. I mean, I'm really focused on that as well, because there's a lot that's the same in river cruising, and I think it's one of the things I want to try to bring is where and how do we differentiate. Europe is going to remain incredibly important because there's so much
Sure.
still to see in Europe, but new destinations beyond what we have already in Africa, on the Mekong, in Colombia, we're actively looking at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Colombia was very exciting when it was announced, and I know Rudy was very, very eager to get it in the water finally, and I'm eager to get down there to see it soon.
I mean,
'Cause
talk about differentiating, being in Colombia. And Colombia is something else that is a core pillar of our brand, which is this idea around the connection with communities. It's also a way that at Airbnb we used to define sustainability. There's sustainability around the environment, but there's also sustainability around tourism and bringing tourists, our guests, to communities that want to receive them and that
right,
maybe even need them. And I look at what Rudy and Christine have managed to do in Colombia, the communities that they've connected with, the investment in those communities. I saw it in Africa as well, where
mhm,
you are hiring, you are training, you are educating, you're investing money, you have relationships with partners, with whether it's government partners or different businesses. That is really important to that local community writ large.
well, this is the meaning of sustainable tourism is to
It
be,
100% is.
really involved with the community. And I think they are certainly in Colombia from everything I hear. And it certainly was the case in Africa, but it really is the case for every place that they go, whether it's the Nile, whether it's Africa, whether it's Europe. So it's really important. Now, where do you see this company in the next year, 5 years, 10 years? Where do you think what does it have the potential to do?
I think we have the potential to grow in a way that can be significant. And we are ambitious in our growth, but the growth has to be thoughtful. The brand has to remain as strong and as beloved. I think we will see an evolution of the brand over the next 5 years
Right.
in a way that elevates and refreshes and makes it feel really relevant. And again, in a way that I hope will help our partners sell us even more easily. But we will be growing, but we will be growing, as I said, we'll be growing in a thoughtful way. We'll be growing in a sustainable way. I think
Right.
sustainability is going to, if you think less about the sustainable tourism, but going back to the environment, it's going to become on the river, it's going to become more and more important. So I'm spending a lot of time thinking about that. So I think, we will have a growing fleet that will be more and more sustainable. We will be in new, exciting locations, and we will continue to innovate in the same pioneering spirit that certainly that Rudy launched as he was on his raft in the Amazon
Well,
many
that's
years.
everybody goes back to the raft on the Amazon when he started, and I think that was the inspiration for Colombia, to be honest with you. From certainly,
Although
uh,
it's a bit more luxurious.
yeah. Well, I'm sure you've seen the video, like everybody else, of him on the raft, in those
Yeah,
strange swimming trunks. But
yeah, yeah,
it is obviously he's had the river in his heart for a long time.
yeah.
Anything else you want to say to our 125,000 travel advisors about AmaWaterways and your role with the company, and also what the future holds?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to all of them for their unbelievable support and partnership and loyalty. And I want everyone to be very, very clear of how much I understand and respect that, and how much I want to continue that relationship that we have. As I said, Christine is going to be there. The sales team is going to be there. Alex is there. Gary is there. So while I am a new face, many of the faces aren't. And so I want to reassure them that the commitment is the same, and to come on this exciting journey with us as we innovate, as we grow, as we pioneer into new destinations. And I mean, it's amazing when you start working river cruise how you realize how many metaphors are river, boat, sea, or river related. But we really want all boats to rise. We want to grow, and we want to
Absolutely.
grow with them. And I'm very, very much looking forward to meeting. I've met many in person already. I'm looking forward to meeting more in person and learning from them and hearing from them and getting the feedback from them, because I'm very focused on continuing to improve and continuing to meet their needs as well as the needs of our guests.
Well, you're going to find some in the next week when you go
I
to
will.
Virtuoso.
I
You'll
hope
meet
so.
lots of them, and they're my friends in the travel agency community are nothing if not opinionated, and they will definitely
I've
tell you
heard.
what they think. But fortunately, you're with a company they respect and they really like, and they want to work with you. So I think that's a positive, and they just want to know
And
who.
James, can I actually say one more thing? Because as you said, they are opinionated. They are opinionated, which is great. And questions that I hear very directly to me is, you're not from the industry. The other thing I would like to say is that my experience at Disney. By the way, before Disney, I worked for the BBC, so I've had good, strong brands
Okay.
that I've worked for, and BBC, Disney, Airbnb, and now Amma, which I feel as proud as all the others to be working for. But my time at Disney, if you're running a park, these are complex operations, but you've got the hotel experience, you've got the food and beverage experience, you've got the guest experience, you've got operations. It's all highly relevant to what we're doing on the river. The river's just, we're on the river, and it's a smaller space. And then even at Airbnb, my role was hosting. It was supply, it was hosting,
Right.
and it was recruiting, millions, so the scale is slightly larger, of hosts that we trained and educated in the art of hospitality. I spent time deconstructing hospitality to create an educational training program, everything from the welcome to the communication and the care and the surprise and delight and the connection we want to make, so that we created the best possible guest experience that attracts new guests and keeps existing guests coming back. And that those are definitely experiences and skills that I think are relevant and transferable to AmaWaterways.
Absolutely. And anybody who doesn't think you were in the travel industry, I've covered Disney for 30 some years. I know that Disney's part of and Airbnb is certainly part of the travel industry. You may not be part of the cruise industry yet, and now you will be, you are going to be. And I know
Mhm.
that there are a few river cruises in your future
Yes.
in the years to come. I hope so. And you're going to go to be in a lot of incredible exotic places. Catherine, I want to thank you for taking the time. I've been wanted to get in this interview for a while. I got slightly delayed this summer, but I'm glad to see you now, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at Virtuoso. And again, anytime you need help with knowing the travel industry, but you know it, so I'd be there. I've unfortunately or unfortunately been here for 35 years, so I know I've been covering an AmaWaterways from the very beginning, and the industry itself, river cruising, watched it develop. I've been on more river cruise panels than you want to know, and moderated them. So it really is one of the best parts of the industry that I know.
Well, I thank you for having me, and I'm so pleased that we are able to do this, and you've made such an incredible recovery.
Thank you. And I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report.